This is a long overdue chat, I think, for the Olympics. Like, I think when we started this podcast, everyone was like, you should talk about the Olympics. You should talk about the Olympics. And it's been pretty on brand to talk about it now, considering that the Olympics is just finished and the Paralympics is about to start. It's all in the front of our minds, and karate on social media and Karate Australia is just like posting heaps about our last representation at Tokyo 2020, why we're not in it again. I think that's the one question I always get. It's like, are you going to the Olympics next time? And I'm like, I have to
got to explain this again.
Got to explain this whole thing again. It's like, no, we're not an Olympic sport. But you guys were in the Olympics last time. It's like, yeah, well, it was an inclusion sport. Oh, yada, yada. So
Sure.
It's a lot to go through. And I think there's so many, like I said at the start, intricacies of this situation because, there's so much that goes on with viewership and bidding and how well supported your sport is, So, Nathan, I know you've done a bit of research on the history of us getting into the Olympics and our sort of journey to become an Olympic sport first.
Yep, and we'll be getting into that later.
Okay.
But first off, I just want to say how proud I am
to
be an Australian. No, this is the only Australian jersey.
Full tracksuit.
Yeah, full tracksuit. No, I thought it was a good thing to do because it's Australia's most successful Olympics ever.
It's pretty crazy.
Like I went back, but honestly, it was just a page that listed the whole results over the last century. And like, I think we got 16 in Beijing, 16 gold, and 16 in, what was the one?
London?
No, it wasn't London.
Rio.
It actually maybe, I've really left it in my folder. It was one other Olympics that we also got. No, it was Tokyo.
Okay.
Tokyo and Beijing, we got 16, but this year we got 18 gold medals, which is just insane. And we placed fourth.
I think fourth, overall.
Fourth overall.
Incredible.
So cool.
Fourth best country in the world.
Woo!
And who were the three above us? I think Japan.
No, it was US, China, and then Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive populations.
Huge countries.
We're small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there for sure.
Yeah, by capita,
Per capita?
I don't want to sound dumb. Yeah, per capita, per with the amount of with the amount of people in Australia getting 18 gold, that ratio is just.
Yeah.
I think it's the best.
50 something medals, was it?
Yeah, 50. So I do have the medal tally here. I have also left that in my folder. I really thought I didn't need
I think it was 51, 52.
Let's call it 80.
56.
95.
It was 18 gold and like 19 silver and like around the same bronze. Like, yeah.
Because we've got Olympics in, when?
Brisbane in 32.
Yeah, and this is something that happens, right, with countries when they know they're hosting, is that there's a bit of an Olympic ramp up. And so hopefully we get even more medals.
Yeah.
Next Olympics. And then we win when it's in Brisbane. Surely.
I mean,
Win what?
Hopefully. The whole Olympics.
The whole Olympics.
Oh,
we just
yeah,
win.
yeah, number one country.
Well, this is like
60 gold medals.
I think this ties into really quickly about just the inclusion sports. When countries, obviously you want to have your best chance to medal, you're going to put in the sports that are going to guarantee you medals, right?
Sure.
And so that's why you saw karate in the Olympics in Japan, because they're like, well, we're definitely going to get medals. And that's why it was a bit weird to sort of see France for Paris not put karate in, because they've got such a good contingent of athletes that they're pretty much guaranteed like 2-3 medals, I reckon. But maybe they didn't see the value.
Yeah, maybe we blame it on the French Karate Federation. Maybe they didn't do enough.
They get blamed for
to
enough
push
as
karate.
it is.
Yeah, true, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to the country's karate federation to push karate as a sport to their national Olympic committee, and then for that to go on to the International Olympic Committee. So Tokyo, obviously, the JKA, I think JKA is the National Federation of Japan, did very well for Tokyo, and that's why it featured in Tokyo. But France didn't do enough for 2024. Or there were, other things, I'm sure.
A lot of it comes into it is like how well supported your sport is in terms of like funding, viewership, and resources. And if you can't provide that for the Olympics, they go, why are we putting you in here? Then you're not going to get the viewership. We're not going to get revenue. First of all, you're probably not going to get the medals because it's such a high risk event. Like when you go running or sprinting, whatever, you got the times, you can bank on the fact that this person's going to medal. Whereas if you got karate is so, sometimes it's a flip of a coin. Unless you're Stephen DaCosta, which you're probably going to win every single time, and you're French, mate. So Anyway, yeah, so that's I think that just really quickly, the inclusion sports is different to the permanent sports like the athletics. So I think,
Yeah.
was it 2012 or 2016, they started to allow each country to add 5 extra exhibition inclusion sports to give them a go and pick who they want to have in for that year. And you have the list of who was in 2020.
Yeah, so 2020 for Tokyo, they pushed, where is it here?
Did you leave that in your folder?
Sorry?
No.
I did.
What's on here?
I don't know what's on there. If
There are too many notes. It was surfing, sport climbing, skateboarding, and 3x3 basketball, as well as karate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think 3x3 basketball didn't make it in again.
No, it is. It was still in.
Really? For
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah, it made it in along with surfing and climbing.
Yeah, sport climbing and
I didn't even know
skateboarding as
3x3
well.
basketball existed.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of bad blood between like basketball
I
and
mean,
3x3.
real basketball and
Yeah.
3x3.
Hey,
I don't know if there's
awesome.
any bad blood between rugby and rugby sevens, because I enjoy watching rugby sevens and I
Sevens is
love
quite
rugby
fun.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really understand the point of 3 and 5. Like, what's the real difference? But that's just me personally.
That's not us. That's not our domain to comment on.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. So that was Tokyo, and then Paris. Paris was, they included breaking, which has been discontinued already for 2028.
Which is what happened with us, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
for
it was-
us, we got discontinued before it even featured in Tokyo.
Same with breaking.
Same with breaking.
So they didn't
same
even
with
actually
breaking.
get a chance to view it. So we got the boot before they even
I
had the
think
Olympics.
around the way people were talking with karate back in when we were in, there was this like idea that this was a trial, and I don't think it ever was that. Like it was just like if we did well, and then there was this talk afterwards that we got deprived of like this was meant to be a trial to see if we should be included, but it's
That's
always
what
a
I thought.
separate, yeah, and that's what was the talk around. But it's always been a separate thing. From my understanding now, it's like you've got those extra sports the host country can choose. Doesn't mean that you're on trial to be a mainstay.
Because they decide the inclusion sports at quite a while in advance, right? So the Los Angeles 2028, it's already been picked.
Yeah.
So that's why we know we're not back in there.
And they've got some cool sports. Squash, I think.
Nice. You
love
definitely
squash.
deserves-
Great sport.
That definitely
I
deserves
suck
to
at
be
it.
in the Olympics.
I won't be at the Olympics, but it's great.
And flag football as well. I'm keen to see that.
Yeah.
That's,
Along with the same 3x3.
yeah, and lacrosse.
Oh.
Actually,
You know what I
no,
don't like about flag football though? It's not a very world sport.
No, it's
Really?
not. It's very promoted by the NFL. It is huge in America,
Well,
but that's why
yeah.
they're and same as lacrosse.
Yeah.
I know lacrosse is played worldwide, but I think it's very popular in the US, and that's like the main hub for that sport. So and baseball and softball are having another run. So they had a run in 2016, wasn't in 2020 or 2024, and they're coming back for
huge,
LA.
Huge in America.
Yeah.
Which is what I also wanted to touch on, and we'll talk about our friends in judo for this one. Judo experienced this. They were in the Olympics as a trial sport, and then they weren't featured in the next Olympics. And then the Olympics after that, they were featured again, and they never missed an Olympics past that.
What year was that?
So that was 1964. They first featured in the Olympics. 1968, they missed. And then from 1972 onwards, they've been a sport.
So was 72 them as like a core sport included? Yeah. Okay.
So was it always a trial? Was it a trial back then?
In 64.
So I wonder because I'm not quite sure about the inclusion sports.
So I think that's the 5, like the country
was that
gets to
back then
nominate
as well?
5. No, it wasn't like you get to nominate 5. Right. It was just
an inclusion.
I assume sports made their push to the International Olympic Committee, and they decided whether they wanted to trial the sport or not.
Right.
It wasn't up to a country, and they don't get a number of 5 to trial. So yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So that's quite interesting because you mentioned there's already quite a few combat sports within the Olympics. You got judo, taekwondo, boxing. Is Greco-Roman wrestling still in?
What was the first thing you said?
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Not sure.
I don't know. I remember it being there, but still quite a lot of fencing.
Yep.
Quite a lot of combat sports. Do they want another one in there you know, so does that add to the fact of like, oh, well, we've got all these other combat sports, karate. It's quite similar to taekwondo in terms of viewership. Obviously, it's different, but the random person on the street just watching it goes, well, it's the same. I'm not going to watch this again.
Some people think it is karate.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, did you watch karate in the Olympics? And that was taekwondo. Like,
Because
if you don't know, you
other
don't know.
martial arts exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's part of the difficulty I think we face.